It is Coffee with Alex Mandossian. This time there's a couple Alexes, and I'm here on behalf of Shanda Sumpter. Who I spent some time with she and Ash at the Traffic and Conversion event. I'm still in San Diego right now at the hotel. Traffic and Conversion is a big conference, but that's not relevant for today. Today, I want to know your name and where you're hanging out from, because I want you to start typing and making sure that everyone else knows that you're here. I'm Alex, and I'm currently in San Diego, California. And let's see, we got Minnie here. And this is Minnie Mandossian. She has a collar, but it's uncomfortable to sleep with, so she's not here with the collar. But she's going to go for her walk, and she's holding it in just for you. She's holding it in just for you. You know, poop and pee, you know how that goes if you have a doggy. And she's here in San Diego. I woke her up, and I'm only having her here to get more reactions from you, because in the morning I have a face for radio. So give me your name and the city you're hanging out from, and then share. Click on the share button. This first 5 minutes, the first 300 seconds is to get as many shares as possible. Here's what I promised Shanda, just to kind of ethically influence you. I promised her that, well, I intended, it was an intention. It was a conversation, not a commitment, but I wanted to get 40 shares, 40 plus shares, which I know you're capable of doing, even 6 a.m. in the morning here on Pacific time on the East Coast. No excuse. It's 9 a.m. You can get a bunch of shares, but I want you to click share. If you want to give me hearts, you want to give me thumbs up, that's great. But sharing is caring. And the goal to share this is because it will involve other people, which will make the content that I'm about to deliver, it will make it easier for you. And it's the principles of karmic marketing. The principles of karmic marketing. Okay, now, what is karmic marketing? Well, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you why I believe it's important, and I'll tell you how it works. That's that big how question. How is usually why things break down. And so I'll take you through the whole process, and I'll tell you the story how Warren Buffett, purchased a karmic marketing-based company. It was a diamond cutting business in New York City, fastest growing manufacturer in the history of New York. And I'll tell you how he purchased a company using these karmic marketing principles. That's all they used, for over $250 million. That's billion with a B. Hopefully that props your attention. Now, I was here at the Traffic and Conversion event to enroll new mastermind members for about $30,000. That's high end, I would imagine, right? For the War Room, which is what digital marketer and several of my friends, their names are Perry, Roland, Richard, and Ryan. I enrolled them, and I utilized the karmic marketing principles without revealing them, because I thought, maybe I may get judged because it's a little B to W, B to B, B to C. Well, this is called business to woo-woo, B to W, which is my favorite. So I've utilized these principles to attract $100,000 clients, of which I have 12. I've utilized them to attract $30,000 clients, high end, low end, to build a list, a mobile marketing list, for my mobile phone, which is the future of, I think, digital marketing, and then an email list. So you can utilize these principles to expand any area of your business or personal life. So that's why I want you to share. Click on the share button so that your friends, colleagues, maybe people whom you don't get along with, that would be super cool, would also get access to this, because it will make your life a lot easier. March 9th is my birthday, and it's coming up, and I'm a good receiver if you want to send me anything. I don't care. I receive anything almost, anything that's friendly. And every year, and I'll be doing this on the 9th, which is in 8 days from today, I ask myself, how much money do I want to make this year? And I do that just because it's an objective thing I can measure, right? And then I divide that by 52, because I have 52 opportunities to win. That's chunking down my big goal, which I have one chance to win a year, into 52 chances to win, so that my mind and my heart can win more often. We have too many goals and not enough celebrations, right? And then I ask myself the second question, and I hope you ask this as well on your birthday or on a special day. Okay, how much do I want to make this year? Okay, and not how am I going to make it, right? Not, who am I going to enroll to do it with me? It's what's the least amount of work I got to do to get there? How much do I want to make? And what's the least amount of work I got to do to get there? And it comes down to karmic marketing principles. Karmic marketing principles. So right now, I just want a couple things from you. Your name and the city you're from. And my friend and production manager is on this Facebook Live right now, which we're utilizing Be Live. It's not on my phone today. It's on BeLive.tv, which I'm sure, Shanda will teach you how to utilize, or I can teach you with her one day in the future, maybe, hint, hint, more content. And then I want you to share this event because I'm going to start in about 60 seconds. Okay, so that way we get some engagement going, which Facebook loves. And we want lots and lots and lots of engagement going. I want 400 plus comments. So name and city. And then here's one more thing I want you to do. If there were a word that you want to intend for the day, okay, it could be a verb, an adjective, or a noun. Okay, one word. What would that word be? Type it in. I know I'm making you think in the morning, but we're starting with micro decisions, and then we're going to get macro more and more. All right. So what's the word? Here's mine. And this is the way the Indians from India say it, right? Karma. Karma. Now, what is karma? Well, karma is the law of cause and effect. That's what we would call it here in the West. In the Far East, karma doesn't start with the Buddha, who was born over 2,000 years ago, 500 plus BC, right? 2,500 years ago. It's not about the Buddha. It's not about the ancient traditions that go back to spirituality, going even past ancient Egypt, 5,000 years ago, or ancient China. Karma is just a very simple concept of what goes around comes around. And it's something that, in the Buddhist dictionary has several pages of definition. Now, in the West, we use, Sanskrit terms. Sanskrit is an ancient language that was spoken, not just written. And the, the monks use Sanskrit. It's from ancient India. And karma has like 3 or 4 pages of definition. Now, we use words like nirvana or yoga or karma. We use them normally as part of our lexicon of communication. But karma is a very powerful term. It's very simple and yet powerful. And there are certain laws of karma. And I'm not going to talk about the laws of karma today, but here's one for you to remember. Okay. And that's my word for today. What's your word? Okay. Your word doesn't have to be karma. It could be engagement, or it can be family, or it could be awesome, or it could be awesomeness, as my good friend Vishen says. He lives all the way in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So whatever your word is, type that in. And that way we get lots of comments along the way, because as I dive into the content, I get less and less comments, unless you want to do little takeaways and aha moments and just type those in, because that way we get more comments moving. But the word karma has laws attached to it. And here's one of the laws. Everything big was once small. Now that includes the universe, but my best and favorite example is an oak tree, a giant oak tree, which I have in the back yard of my office. I'm in a complex in San Rafael, California. And in the back, we have like a little brook, and there's some woods back there. It's super cool. And there's this giant oak tree, probably many, many tons, of wood. And there's the trunk, and then the roots go deep, and then the branches come out, and then there are the leaves, and then there's other little acorns. How did that start? How did that oak tree start? With a little acorn. A watermelon starts with a little watermelon seed. You started as a swimmer, and you were a winner. You got in. You won the ovarian lottery. 500 million people you elbowed out, kicking, and bam, you got in, unless you're a twin. And then 2 of you got in, triplets, 3 of you got in, and then you came out, hopefully head first for your mom's sake, 40 weeks later, right? And you won the ovarian lottery, and you started small, right? Thousands and thousands of times small. And in just 40 weeks, you expanded. That's one of the laws of karma. Okay. And that's a tease, because there are 4 laws of karma. You can look it up on Google, but that's one, and one of my favorite. And the key is to know that everything big was once small. A whale was once small. An elephant was once small. The universe was once small, right? Whether you believe in a Big Bang or not. All right, so let's begin. Okay, if you're ready, say ready. And then let me see them. Just type in ready. That's a good word to start with. Ready. Okay, are you ready, Minnie? Are you ready? It's like saying, Dad, okay, I'm having a bad ear day. I'm having a bad ear day. Just please leave me alone. You're waking me up, and you always use my cute little face to get more engagement. Sorry. That's what I have to do. I'm a teacher. That's my job. Okay. Now, here we go. If you're ready, okay, ready? Okay, because we're only going for about 20 more minutes. Here we go. Principles of karmic marketing. Now, what is karmic marketing? It is a science. It is a science, but it is modern research into ancient ways. You know, you've heard of the way. There are many ways in the spiritual tradition, but this is ancient ways of Buddha wisdom. And to be a Buddha is enlightenment, you know, to ascend, to be enlightened of what that means to you. And for me, it's about expansion, not contraction, you know, for lack of a better term, love versus fear, like expand, love, fear, contract. Now, I don't say this in front of my digital marketing friends because frankly, I feel like I'll be judged, but I feel like I can say it with all of you. And I say it because it's in the right context. Because the key to karmic marketing is to find the cause of all causes in any area of life. The cause of causes. Like, what's the cause of an oak tree? Well, was it the root cause? Was it the trunk cause, the branch cause, the leaf cause? Or was it the seed cause? Now think about this. We use root cause as part of our language, but there's something before root, isn't there? And I get super excited about this. So does Minnie. Minnie goes, oh, Dad, here we go again. Why you're using me again? Okay, I wish I weren't so cute. All right. The root cause is a misnomer. It's a mistake. A seed cause is where everything begins. An acorn flops into a root. It disappears. Are you with me? You were released by your dad, whether you know your dad or dislike your dad or love your dad. You were released by your dad and you were received by your mom, right? Root cause was maybe your mom and dad's decision, okay? Because I don't think anyone is artificially created on this Facebook Live. Maybe one day in the future, I hope not, but that seems the direction we're going. But I think everyone was organically created here. Would you agree? If you do, say, yes, I am. Yay. I'm the modern research into ancient technology. So forget about root cause. We're going after seed cause. Now, let's take an example. An example would be starting your car or trying to start your car. So you use a key, right? Usually most people have a key. Now, these days, I push a button, but I have to have a key near me. And I turn the ignition or I press the button, right? And the car fails to start. If the car fails to start, what's the root cause? Well, the root cause could be the ignition system, right? It's not sparking. That's a root cause. Or maybe the key, you know, is just not working. That's a root cause. But what's the cause of causes? That's the seed cause. And the seed cause is the battery. If the battery's not working, right, then the car does not start. You can't blame it on the key. You can't blame it on the ignition system. You got to blame it on the seed cause, which is the battery. Now, the reason I mention this is the only thing worse than going in the wrong direction is going in the wrong direction enthusiastically. It's one of these Alexisms. See, shameless promotion. And with Alexisms are like little sayings I've made up, 140 characters or less. The only thing worse than going in the wrong direction is going in the wrong direction enthusiastically. The only thing worse than choosing the wrong cause is choosing the wrong cause enthusiastically and blaming the wrong cause. Don't go after root cause, because we've been trained to go after the thing that is not the cause of causes. It is a cause, but not the cause of causes. The seed cause is really at the beginning. And then we can get into a philosophical discussion of, okay, what caused the seed, right? And then that's where I get into arguments with my scientific friends. Well, the Big Bang is illogical, right? because what happened before the Big Bang? What caused the cause? Is that like a singularity? And what's the cause of the singularity? Okay, your mind goes crazy. So come back to me here. Sorry for taking you there. So seed cause versus root cause. Write that down, right? Seed versus root cause. If you have children, teach them about the seed cause. Now, not too soon, maybe when they're 10 or 12, the seed cause could have been like a look that was shared by mom and dad, okay? And then what followed, right? Because there had to be some union, which is super cool if you think about it, right? Gets us in trouble and at the same time, procreation. So the goal is to understand what is the seed cause. And the closer you get to the cause of causes, I believe, the better you can have karmic marketing work for you. So let me tell you a story. I'm a decent storyteller. This is the story of how Warren Buffett, and I use Warren Buffett. I got to interview him one time for about 5 minutes for free, believe it or not. And what Warren Buffett did and why he purchased the company for over $250 billion, and it was a karmic marketing company. Okay, now this is the story. So one of my mentors, and I would call him one of my spiritual mentors. He's controversial in some regards because he's from the West. He's the only Westerner to reach what's called geisha status. Now, a geisha is nothing to do with Japanese geisha. A geisha is like a PhD in the discipline of Mahayana Buddhism, which is the Tibetan tradition. The Dalai Lama, whom you've heard of. There's many traditions of Buddhism. This is that tradition, and it's hundreds of years old. Well, he's the only Westerner to have studied in a monastery in northern India, in Dharamsala, also here in the United States, in monasteries. And he studied for 20 years, and he got the geisha. They have him wear this huge, it's like a hat thing that kind of comes over. You could look it up on Google, and it's very, very in-depth study of the 5 sacred books of Buddhism and that tradition. In 20 years as an American, I think he started as a Protestant, grew up in Arizona, and went to India and studied with one of the monks who was the Dalai Lama's teacher. He's no longer living in this life anyway, but he was one of the Dalai Lama's teacher, and the Dalai Lama, had to flee from Tibet, when Tibet was, taken over years ago, but by the Chinese, in their war, and in that conflict, that Dalai Lama fled to northern India in a town called Dharamsala, and then now he travels the world teaching. And I hear he lives on $10 a day. Now, my friend, his name is Michael, he studied Buddhism, and he was a monk for 20 years. And then his Lama, now a Lama in the Buddhist tradition, the Tibetan tradition, is like mentor, or in the US, we call it coach. In Italy, they call it maestro. They call it tutor in France, and guide in England, sensei in Japan, shifu in China, whatever you call it. It's the person who is teaching you because they know the way, right? I like mentor in the Greek tradition. In India, they call it guru, right? That's a Sanskrit term, just like karma. So his Lama, Michael's Lama, said, I want you to get into the diamond business. And so Michael said, look, I don't know anything about business. I don't know diamonds from golf balls. He says, no, I've seen it in a meditation. His Lama told him. And so Michael was living in New Jersey on the East Coast, and he went into Manhattan. And the diamond business is very difficult to get into because you can steal $1 million worth of inventory in your pocket, right? So it's controlled by certain traditions of people and a certain group of people. Usually they're Hasidic Jews, and they're if you know Manhattan, they're kind of in the 40s. In the 40s and 50s, the streets of Manhattan, right? Where there's the diamond district over there. So he went there, he looked for a couple partners, and he actually found a family who started a business. Now, he utilized karmic marketing. He wrote a book called Karmic Management, which has sold millions of copies, and you can read that. But he has allowed me to rename it Karmic Marketing because that's what it is. And I even have an infographic for you that I'm going to give you an address on how to get. And this is it, one page. This is worth $250 million, $250 million, right here. So what happened is, by utilizing these principles, and I'm going to teach you what they are, he built this company, and it was called Andine Corporation. The names are not important, but it's the fastest growing manufacturer in the history of Manhattan, and a lot of big companies in Manhattan. And over the course of several years, they bought jewelry.com early on in their evolution. They grew to over $100 million a year, 10,000 employees from 3. And Michael, utilizing the karmic marketing principles, looking for the cause of causes and doing 4 things a day, which I'm going to teach you what to do. He built this company. Eventually, it was purchased by Warren Buffett for $250 million, billion with a B, $250 million. Okay. So it's over $250 million, right? So that I tell you, and I share with you so I get your attention, just in case you're not business to woo-woo minded, right? I know most of you are, but I know I have people who are watching on my Facebook pages. They go, Alex, what is this? Come on, let's get to concrete. Well, this is concrete. This is how I've attracted my 100K clients, and I've never shared this publicly, and I'm doing it because I think maybe Shanda and Ash has given me the courage to do it, because I hate being judged, right? I know it's my problem, but I don't like my marketing friends to judge me, because this is something that's kind of in the woo-woo spiritual arena. But you know what? When someone is dying or someone's in their last breath, what do they go? They go, God or Yahweh or Allah or, universe, please save me. They'll always go there on their final breath. But, during life, they don't go there. So I find that to be interesting. So here are the principles of karmic marketing, according to Alex. Okay. First, you need to find your karmic marketing partners. And there are 4 partners. There are actually 5. You're your 5th partner, but there are 4 partners. I'm going to teach you who they are. Next, you want to identify your karmic marketing. That's what KM stands for. Karmic marketing actions. Now, you can take a picture of this. Okay. Karmic marketing actions. Now, and then third is amplify your karmic marketing intentions. Okay. Most important is find your karmic marketing partners, identify the actions. What are you going to do with them? Takes less than a minute to do with each of your partners. I'm looking for 4 every day. It takes me about 300 seconds to do my karmic marketing for the day. It's better than a 15-minute meditation. It's like going to heaven without the inconvenience of dying. Or it's like coming back again and again, more evolved. And then amplify your key intentions means when you're taking action, you want to amplify that intention. We're going after intentional acts of appreciation. We're not doing random acts of kindness here. Every day we're doing intentional acts of appreciation. Okay, we're at 200 comments. I want 400. So write down intentional acts of appreciation so it comes through your nervous system. I normally would have you repeat it, but I can't hear you right now. So just type it in. Intentional acts of appreciation. That is much different than random acts of kindness. And you're going after 4 karmic partners. So here are the karmic partners. Start writing. It's your customers. Some people call them clients or patients. It's your suppliers, who most people abuse. They just go after the lowest price. Your suppliers are connected, my friend. Your suppliers are connected. Or, some people call them vendors, right? And then your team. And we call them employees. Now, some people confuse suppliers with team. If you deal with someone again and again and again, and they're an independent contractor, they're on your team. If you meet with them once a week, they're on your team, right? I'm sorry, I'm speaking at the rate of Tony Robbins. I usually speak like this, which is more like Alex Mandossian, because I want you to get it, but I don't have time today. So I got to go in the Tony Robbins style, very, very quick and visual. Okay. And then there's the world, and the world is everyone else. So there's 4 different karmic partners. You got customers, suppliers, your team, and the world, who is everyone else. Now, with this, you can take a picture of this. Good. We're at 216. We need 400. See, I called up Shanda and I said, I'm going for 410 comments and 30 shares. So that's my intentional act of appreciation. And if you want to learn more about this, I'll see if I can ethically influence Shanda to do a 1-hour course free so we can go deeper. Okay. But this is an infographic I'm going to get you. And these are the 4 partners. And this is you in the middle. So you start with little you, that's called little me, right? And then you create this karmic echo, 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 echo. And if you go 4 for 4, then you end up creating what's called the karmic marketing nest. All right. And you'll get this to get to study it. I'll give you a URL to get it. And there's no opt-in. I don't want your email address, right? I want you just to study it. So what you do is, this is the how. Okay. Now what it is what goes around comes around. Why is it important? Because it mimics the ancient wisdom of the Buddha. And the Buddha is not just a spiritual concept. It's how you evolve and ascend, right? You're an sentient being, right? So it's how you expand and you find your purpose in life, right? So that's why it's important. And plus it's fun. To me, it takes less than 600 seconds, usually between 5 to 10 minutes a day. And here's what you do. Okay, now here's the how. So pay attention, because this is where people get, caught up. Like, okay, how do I make it work? I know it's important. I know why it's important, but how do I make it work? Okay, and Leo, go ahead and get rid of world, because I'm going to do the intentional acts of appreciation. Thank you. Thank you, Leo, for producing this. So acts of intentional appreciation expand your karmic echo. Now, you start small. Everything big was once small. So you start as little me. You have 0 people on your list. Okay. You have 0 friends on Facebook. Okay. You start small, maybe 1 friend, mom or dad, or that doesn't work, brother, sister, or let's just say friend. And most people only focus on one of these areas. Like if they try to make their customers or clients successful. Well, if you can see the writing here, if you make them successful, they'll make you successful. And it's not always the same person. It's usually from other people. That's why what goes around, what goes from you will come back to you, but not from the same person. And that's where we judge people and we go, how come you didn't give back to me? I'm keeping score. Why? You don't do that in the spiritual tradition of karmic marketing. That's not the way karma works. Think about how flowers have sex. Do they even know? I mean, I would not want to be a flower. How does a flower have sex? How does a flower procreate? Through a honeybee. All the honeybee is doing through this concept of called precession that Buckminster Fuller, my root lama, my root mentor, taught me. The bee just kind of burrows in his butt, right? Or her butt. Usually it's a worker, right? Worker bee. The queen is back at the hive. Very smart. It's a matriarchal, community. So the bee goes, and what are they doing? They're trying to, get some nectar to go back and, create some honey for us, right? And then the flower has like some pollen fall to the ground. The wind blows the pollen, and somehow it takes and it's not fertilized, but it takes shape. It takes root, right? And that pollen are the seeds that take root, and then now you have more dandelions, or you have more flowers, right? And they're all over. And how? Because of the honeybee. Honeybee was just doing their job, and the flower didn't know. WTF? What just happened? I have a sibling over there. I didn't even touch another flower. It's terrible to be a flower. Good to look at, but not fun to be. It's like, what just happened? You see, what goes around comes around. The flower didn't even touch the other flower. The bee did it. And that's the power of karma. It's the power of precession, not procession. Look it up on Google, precession. So here's what you do. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the action card where I said, okay, you have to find your karmic partners. You know the karmic partner, right? So you identify the key karmic action. So let's say my customer, or in my case, I call them students. So I'll call up a student. I say, you know what? I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Bam. That's a karmic action, or maybe an email, or maybe a post. Okay. And that's one of my students, and it's intentional and it's genuine. I'm not doing it just to get back. I'm doing it because I want to serve them. Right. And then next, I may go to my supplier, like I just did yesterday. And one of my suppliers was here at an event. Right. He's a fulfillment house. And I said, you know what? I don't tell you enough, but I'm so grateful for the work that you do. You always got my back. Here's a Starbucks card, and I don't know, it had $25 on it. Boom. Now, you don't have to spend money, but that's an intentional act of appreciation. And then one of my team members this morning, Leo Fernandez, he's in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I said, how are you doing with this new job you got with us? And are you learning? Are you giving to your own company and to one of my high-end clients who's his boss? And that person's name is Leo. His wife's name is Danny. And they run a big event marketing company in Brazil. And he said, yeah. Okay. So that's the third area. And then the world is everywhere else. So what could I do? I could find an empty meter, parking meter, and put a quarter in there. Even though it's illegal, I do it anyway, and I run, right? Police are chasing me. Can you imagine? It's illegal. So I put in a quarter, and that way they don't get a $30 ticket. Where I live, it's a $40 ticket. Or maybe I pay the toll for the person in back of me when I'm crossing the Richmond Bridge to get to my home in the Bay Area, right? That's an intentional act of appreciation. So you write down all these acts of appreciation. Sometimes I pick up a cigarette butt, and then I throw it away. That's an intentional act of appreciation. Now, that's not enough. That's not enough. What you also have to do is amplify the intention. So as I'm doing it, it's my intention to have something go around to come around to me. It's self-serving benevolence. And so what I do, I have the partner, I have what I need to do, the acts of appreciation, right? And then how do I do it? By amplifying it. When I release the cigarette butt, I say, in honor of attracting a $100,000 client, I release the cigarette butt to bless this sidewalk. Okay, now that's my speech. Some people say different things. I can say, I release. Now I'm planting a karmic seed as I'm doing that. As I'm taking the litter or the cigarette butt, throwing it away, I am blessing and cleaning the sidewalk. Someone else littered. They probably didn't know. Maybe they saw their dad or mom do it, press a cigarette butt into the concrete or into the street. I take it and I throw it away. And as I do it, I amplify it by amplifying the intention. Now, people say, well, I do a lot of things for a lot of people and I don't get them back. Okay. Do you do it to all four? Your customers, your suppliers, your team, and the world. Do you do that? Because if you don't, you're missing one of them. So that's one of the secrets. This is the way Michael built a $250 million company. Everyone in the company did it every single day. And even if it doesn't work, even if you believe it doesn't work, it does work. But if you believe it doesn't work, it'll still work anyway, because your whole company will get along if they're all doing it this way. Their little me's will become big me's, not pig me's, big me, right? It works whether you believe it or not. If you believe in it, it works even better. Are you with me? So the reason this is so important to amplify that intention, and I do it by just saying it to myself, or like when I'm about to give the Starbucks gift certificate, I say, I give this to, and I say the person's name, in honor of attracting more high-end clients. In other words, I'm thanking the universe or whatever deity you want to use and replace intentionally by giving in order to receive. Is that beautiful or what? There's no other word for it. Sorry. Right? I mean, think about it. Most people who don't have this work, what they do is they plant watermelon seeds on concrete, and it's not natural. Doesn't obey the laws of nature, right? They're doing the karma in the wrong way. They're keeping score. What if you found your 4 partners, and there are a lot of people within those 4 partners, especially the world, right? And each day you had a list of things that you were going to do, and it took you like a minute to do each of them. And in less than 10 minutes, you're done. And you just keep going without keeping score. Plant the watermelon seed in fertile ground so that the watermelon can grow. It's a law of karma. Everything big was once small. So people will plant on concrete, and all of a sudden they wonder, how come this thing is not working? Because they're doing it the wrong way. Okay. So you need to amplify with an intention. And the intention for me is, I bless this concrete in it by throwing away this trash in honor of attracting and converting more high-end clients. And it's not believable, but I swear to you, every $100,000 client I've gotten this year, last year, to the year before is a result of that. They come out of nowhere. And I just smile. It kind of supports the concept, and I just keep going. And you know what? Even if it didn't work, it's just a good thing to do. And then if you want this infographic that I showed you earlier, then go to marketingonline.com/KM. It's on your screen as I'm done, and you will get, it's in 4 color, right? and you'll get this infographic, and it kind of explains what I just said. You can come back and you can watch this again. If you watch it again, I think you'll get, deeper meaning, because when you see something a second time, things that you missed will have new meaning, right? And I have like a mini course. I think it's about 75 minutes. I could teach it to you if you reach out to Shanda and say, hey, can I learn more about karmic marketing? This is not fair to Shanda, but I'm going to do it anyway. And these are all the intentional acts of appreciation examples that I do. So, for example, feeding an empty parking meter. This is for the world. Or saying hello in the elevator to a stranger. Now, if you have a student in the elevator, say hello to them, right? Now you're done for the day. Giving a frequent buyer card, that's all filled out, to a stranger. Okay. Or I like to send it to my students. Or how about to suppliers, having a supplier appreciation day, or having an unexpected appreciation email or phone call saying, I appreciate you just because. And I go, man, you made my day. Or knowing when their birthday is, mine is March 9th, knowing when their birthday is and reaching out to them. Now, here's the key to karmic marketing. Let me read some more. Your team. How about a day of full pay without having to work? I've done that before. Or how about an unexpected movie ticket for their spouse or partner, right? There's many non-monetary acts of appreciation. So you got to figure out who the partners are, and then what the acts of appreciation are. Just plan it. Spectacular achievement is always preceded by unspectacular planning. And then amplify it by having this little mantra like, I do this, or I bless this in honor of, and then it's what you're going to get back. Now, you have to be a good receiver. If you're a shitty receiver, this will not work. You will constipate the system. Your body needs blood to circulate. Earth, Gaia, needs natural resources to circulate. The economy needs money to circulate. And money is changing form, but there needs to be circulation. It's circulatory. The universe is circulatory. I mean, the Earth, if we believe science, is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, right? And it's going around the sun at 64,000 miles an hour. The sun is going around the big black hole, apparently, of our galaxy, which is the Milky Way. And it takes 250 million years, Earth years, to make one rotation in the outer third. And it's going 252 times the speed of a rifle bullet. That's how fast the sun is moving. So the sun is moving, the Earth is moving. It's all about movement, right? And it's going in circles, right? And apparently galaxies are going around each other. Now, I can't prove that it's true, but this is what I've been taught, and it's another example of circulation. If you're a shitty receiver, the whole system shuts down. Get over it, okay? You are a gift. You are a winner. You were born as a result of winning the ovarian lottery against 500 million other human beings. And actually, if you're older, you're a better swimmer than the newer people. My son, apparently, I have fewer competitors that I released, right? Because that's where we're going, I suppose, right? And so if you're older, you can put your arms up and go, man, I did it. I beat more competitors. We're at 350 comments. We're going to get our 410. So here's the final thing. I want your biggest takeaway. What is the biggest takeaway that you got from this? Okay, we're almost 40 minutes into it, so I've gone 600 seconds over. Thank you for spending this time with me. What's your biggest takeaway? Whatever it is, just type it in. There's no right or wrong answer. If you're not the type who types, good, type anyway. Because let's just assume I'm your supplier today. You can give me and bless me with an act of appreciation. I'm your supplier. I'm not on your team, most likely, unless you're Leo, who's the production manager. I may be part of the world, outside, but I hope I'm your supplier or teacher. And I'm here by proxy, thanks to Shanda, who is, I would call her, I don't know where friends come in, but I put them in team. So this is my act of appreciation now. It's 40 minutes long, but this is for Shanda, right? Because I believe like she's on my team of, I would call spiritual business people, spiritually centered business people, to expand and not contract what's happening. Because there is hope, and that hope is not knowing how to get from point A to point B. The hope is just knowing there is a point B. So karmic marketing works. And I will do a quick recap. So these are the principles of karmic marketing. This is modern research. Just type in your big takeaways. Modern research into the ancient ways of Buddha wisdom, You want to find the cause of causes. Now I'll do it this way because it's a lot more dramatic. Okay, karmic marketing, modern research, right? The key point is the cause of causes. A good example is the battery. That's the cause of causes. If your car doesn't start, it's because of the battery, not because of the ignition. Warren Buffett bought a company for 250 million plus called Andine Corporation, and they built it through my spiritual mentor, Lama Michael, who is kind of a controversial figure, but doesn't matter. He built something big, and he's written lots of books that are very favorable to you. He's written a book called The Karma of Love. He's written a book called The Diamond Cutter, and then Karmic Management is the one I encourage you to read. That's the original. And the company was sold just based on these karmic marketing principles. So number one, find your KM partners, your karmic marketing partners. Number two, identify the key actions for karmic marketing. What are you physically going to do? You're a human being, but it's your human doings that define you. And then amplify it with an intention. I throw that card away in honor of attracting another $30,000 client. Know what you want. If you don't know what you want, the universe cannot supply back, okay? Karmic partners, 4 of them: customers, suppliers, your team, and the world. And then we're not talking about random acts of kindness. We're talking about intentional acts of appreciation. We're at 409 comments. Who's going to be 413? We did it. Yay. 40 shares. I don't know how many shares we got, but whatever it is, thank you, thank you, thank you. And marketingonline.com/KM. So that brings me to the intention. I called up Shanda at 5:56, and I said, I'm going to get 40 shares, and I'm going to get over 410 comments, right? We have 420 right now. Now, that doesn't mean anything. That's not me saying, yeah, I did it. No, it was an intention. So the more intentional you become with your children, if you have any, with your spouse, if you have one, with your partner, with anyone you interact with, including yourself, because there are 5 people you got to interact with, right? Remember you, there's little you. So you have to give to yourself. That's why, in honor of converting another 100K client, I throw away this cigarette butt to bless this sidewalk and clean it, right? So as I'm releasing it, the karmic seed is released from my fingers into the trash, and bam, I've started it. Do you understand? When I give stuff to Goodwill, before I give the bag to the guy receiving it in the truck or to the Salvation Army, I go, I release these karmic seeds of clothes, and I gave a blender. It was brand new. I didn't use it because I get blenders because I do these morning shakes. My students send me blenders. I got too many of them, right? I got the bullet. I got all kinds of. So I'm giving it to Salvation Army. As the guy's receiving it, I have just planted a karmic seed, not on concrete, but in fertile universal ground. My name is Alex Mandossian. Thank you for your courtesy. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your karma. Give me your biggest takeaways. I will read them after I'm done here. And I hope our paths cross again soon. Thank you, Shanda, for making this possible. All good wishes.